So welcome to this week's video. What I'm hoping to do today is to catch the roe deer again, see if I can see the stags, the bucks, and see what sort of development of their antlers are, to see whether they've shed their velvet as yet. There's two stags here. One's obviously older than the other, his antlers are a bit more developed, so he's probably going to lose the velvet first, and then there's a younger one which I'll put a little clip in here now, which I saw when he had his antlers only just starting. So what I hopefully going to try and do is get some footage of the stages of growth if I can, just to show the different stages. And I think I'm going to be extremely lucky to catch them losing the velvet, but if I can at least show the stages, it will be something. We'll see what comes. So the first bit of footage here is going back to sort of 4 or 5 days ago, last weekend, and you can see here I've managed to get both of the bucks in the same frame there. The younger one is the one furthest away to the right hand side, and the older one is in front of me. Once I got back home and I had a look at the footage, you can see the fact that the velvet is just starting to go on the left antler. They're not very symmetrical, they're not very even, but it's the left one that's just starting the tip to show. So what's interesting for me today in the next lot of footage is what sort of amount of velvet has gone. So the first deer that we see here early in the morning in the blue hour were a set of 3 deer. Initially I thought they were all does. The lead one here is certainly a doe, but the middle one was a very young buck. They tend to start to grow their antlers on the 2nd year, so I think that could be the case here. But the first one here, she was really inquisitive of me, came quite close. I think she was aware that I was there. I'm hidden in the hedgerow. I'm quite well obscured, but you can sense that she was smelling me, the scent, because she kept lifting up and sensing and sniffing the air. So not sufficiently alarmed to run away, but obviously was concerned the fact that there was something unusual. You can really see, yes, sniffing the air. Obviously can sense something's not quite right. They normally work their way back into the woods that you can see into the background there, so obviously happy or not that nothing untoward is happening, and goes back into the woods. What I've noticed is I've walked through those woods there quite regularly, and if you've ever tracked roe deer, they tend to walk in a very narrow, distinct track, and what you're going to see here is that habit that they form, and that's they literally go one behind the other. So that's just really sort of interesting behaviour here, and sort of really reinforces to me the fact that, yeah, the reason why the tracks that we see in the woods are so narrow is because they literally just follow one behind the other, and you wonder whether the sort of white rump is something that aids them. So as they got very close to the woods, I hadn't seen any bucks up until now, but then from the left hand side you can see the older buck and although it was quite some distance away, I can tell looking through that the left hand antler has lost its velvet, but there's just a little bit of a trace of the velvet on the right hand antler. So I don't know whether they find it annoying, or they can sense that they need to sort of get rid of the velvet. So a really interesting piece of behaviour here is the fact that you can see him trying to scrape the last of the velvet off. So yeah, whether it's annoying, who knows. You can't imagine them actually being able to feel it, but I guess somehow they must find it annoying and want to try and get rid of it. But that was really interesting behaviour. So you can see a little bit lighter here, so waited a little bit longer. It gets about light about sort of just after 6, 20 past 6, and the next wave of does came into the field, so managed to track those. And I don't know whether they've separated already into two distinct packs, but the younger buck here, you can see the difference where the older buck is the velvet's already gone. Here you can see he still has it, but what gets me is I've showed that little bit of video earlier, and again I've got previous video of this buck when it was just starting to grow. So you're looking at roughly about 2 weeks worth of growth, and although it's difficult to sort of from this distance to estimate how long those are, but you're probably looking at about 150 millimeters, 6 inches. So over 2 weeks, you know, that's probably looking at 3 inches, 75 milli, about 10 milli a day, half an inch a day. So that's some impressive growth. But again, went back in exactly the same spot. So I'm probably going to look at capturing these guys for the next couple of weeks at least. I want to see how big those antlers do eventually grow, and again, probably unlikely to catch that being, you know, getting rid of the velvet, but if I can just, you know, see how big they grow and see the antlers when they finally are displayed, that would be brilliant. Well, thank you for watching this video, and as always, hope to catch you in the next one.